As long as you stabilize your hair, the phone is
good. That's good.
You stabilize your hair pretty well there, brother.
That's always good. I got used to it. It just takes 10 minutes.
What's going on, Corey? So this is Corey. Am I pronouncing that right?
Koray.
Corey. See that? I knew that. See, there's has a little slang or accent to it. What you got to put, Corey. Yeah. So almost like sounds like a it should be like a Viking, you know, Highland Park type of name.
Well, that's a good one. Oh, Highland Park, here's that. I would be honored to have my name on the bottles, you know.
You know what? It could be a bottle. It could be a cool bottle. Correct. Yeah. Correct.
All right.
So what's going on, man? You got something here for us that we're gonna share together, I guess.
I got a few bottles. I think let's start with this guy.
I'm gonna rinse my glass. I had a little touch of something. But everybody logging in right now, just do a little quick introduction. This is just a holiday toast that just came up with on a whim, and just reached out to a couple people. A few people reached out to me to just bullshit, like two buddies sitting at a bar. Unfortunately, he's in California, I'm in New York, New Jersey. So this is the next best thing, you know? We get to sit in the comfort of our home or office and have a little quick dram together and chat about current life. Ooh, stop teasing. And have a little jam together and toast to the holidays to you guys and to us. So let's start off with Nika, huh?
Let's start off with Nika. I think they deserve the title this year.
Absolutely.
So interesting fact is, like, we used to buy Nika like around 2014 back in Turkey at the airport for like 40 euros or something.
Yeah.
And it wasn't well known in the States until then. But now, and the Grand Denoa, yeah, it was a juvenile's bottle.
Top Whiskeys in the house. Everybody who doesn't follow Top Whiskeys, why the fuck not? Please make sure you do.
All right. Cheers, bud.
Oh, no, I love that glass.
Ah, thank you. That's a gift from a friend.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Like years ago.
I have the one from Vegas, the event, Ultimate Experience.
Oh, that's good.
They give those same glasses out, except it's this Ultimate Experience.
I got some different glasses with me for people to see if they want to gift anyone anything.
Oh, that's a fantastic idea. Yeah, we'll go over that.
So this is.
So tell me about this whiskey. Like as far as I'm sorry. When did you first have this one?
It was 2014, I guess.
Oh wow, you were one of the first ones.
Yeah, back in Europe. It was released in Europe. You know, the original bottle is 500 mils.
Yeah.
So it's like a smaller version of this one, cuter version of this one. Let's say.
Yeah.
And the first time we tried it, it was amazing, to be honest.
Well, what size do you have right now?
75.
I have a 500 ml.
Oh, that's not. Where did you find that?
Well, I got it from duty free when I was traveling over country.
Okay. So,
yeah, I got it a little while back too.
Technically, I got it from the States as soon as it came in, and also like 2 days ago, I had the chance to go to Costco and get that deal of $50.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, $50, and I got 2 bottles of that, so it was a nice bargain, to be honest.
That is awesome. Yeah, the 500 ml is actually a collectible because these are the harder to find now. And so, I mean, there were so many of them around, but it never came to America.
It's still in UK or wherever you go in Europe, you can find those. But it's not possible to find it in the States. Let's
say a quick hello to some of the people coming in. You can see the chat too, right?
Yeah. I can see.
Cheers from Indonesia. Chundri Suman says, please reply. So let's see.
So Grand Denois bottles have to be either 375 or 750 in the States. That's a rule. You cannot have 70 centiliters or 50 centiliters in the States.
Yeah. Chundri, I'm not sure what your question was, so we missed it. If you can, please type again. We're going to be lost in our conversations, but we're going to be trying to pay attention to some of your
I'm
comments.
taking his question. Nika, is it a collectible one? He said. This one is not collectible yet. Hopefully it won't be collectible because I like it.
Yeah. It's definitely going to go up in price, though. I guarantee you they'll raise the price next year. It's bound to happen. This is, for something which costs it's extremely reasonable. This is a huge bang for the buck. This is like a great whiskey for the price. But I guarantee you this is going to be something like, maybe not the Yamazaki effect, but I'm sure it will go up to $80 to $100. I have a feeling.
So basically, you know, I'm not that big of a Japanese lover, but this was one of the first bottles I loved, especially. Like, it's a really good blend. It also has like non-Japanese whiskey inside. So Nika also owns Ben Nevis, and it has some Ben Nevis inside too. So when you import whiskeys from anywhere in the world to Japan, you can call them Japanese. That's one thing.
Yeah.
So that's actually one of my problems with Japanese whiskey, because there are a lot of producers who bring out like 70% Highland whiskey and import it to Japan and call that Japanese and sell it for like a big money.
Yeah, when I go to Japan, I haven't had a chance to go. I'm gonna drink so much whiskeys there that I think when I come out, I'm gonna be called Japanese whiskey myself.
That's good. But yeah, like this is definitely what we call a cost performance whiskey.
Yeah.
And it's at 102.8 proof, so it's like 51.4%.
Yeah.
Grandona 3,000 milliliters is still in the market. Yes, it's in London. It's at Whiskey Exchange. I saw it.
So, what do you think? I mean, I know we kind of started sipping it because it was thirsty,
Yeah.
but what do you think? Nose-wise, let's talk about people who can't have it or haven't had it. Let's talk about the nose and taste and the finish.
So basically, you can just definitely feel that classic Japanese flavor, which is fruity.
Yeah, definitely very floral, too.
And there is like a florality into that, which I love.
Yep.
But also, there are dried fruits coming from the back, and that 102 proof alcohol doesn't bother you that much.
No, it's actually very pleasant. It's a very pleasant nose, even though it's a higher proof. Yeah. I mean, I get that almost like a little bit of light new leather.
In the palate, it's more like spicy. You get
That's the heat from the proof, right?
You get that dates, prunes, thanks to the fatty acids, and at the back, like it's not that long. It's pleasing, lingering, but it's not that super long. It's just so delicious.
Yeah. It's spicy, creamy, elegant. Absolutely. Very light in smoke. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Like this whiskey. This whiskey is not the best Japanese ever, but it's a really solid Japanese.
Yeah, for the price, it's like phenomenal. Yeah, I tried to look up 2 bottles, and one of my friends acquired it for me, so hopefully I can get on and get it for him, so I'll be able to drink this for a while.
All right.
The thing is, we're too spoiled, right? We have too many whiskeys, like, at home, right? And then we're surrounded by the industry also. We're always drinking different stuff, so.
Dude, I just rented a storage.
For your whiskeys?
Yes. I just rented a wine storage for my whiskeys. Like.
Or for your hero accessories.
Maybe. Actually, it's not that much. It's just cheap.
Travis, you still online? Travis was online earlier. Let's see if he's still online. Let's see. Is he on? Yeah, Travis is watching. Say hi. Say hi. Let's say hi to Travis. He's online. Hi, Travis. So you were with Travis a couple days ago, right?
Yeah. He was here. Like he came all the way to Auckland to meet me. That was fabulous. And just giving you information, Travis is making this fabulous rye whiskey.
Yeah.
In Wisconsin, it's the Limousine Rye. That's one of the surprising whiskeys of the year. Like I totally can't say that I overlooked at his whiskey on the first time, because we had a lot of good stuff before it. But then after I tried it alone, that's a really good whiskey. And I was working at the store by then, like you, so I got it to the store immediately, and it sells really good. So let me put it like here, just to give you an idea. I prefer homemade whiskey instead of Japanese whiskey. Well,
ooh, that's a low blow, man. What do you got against Japanese whiskey, man? I mean, all whiskeys are pretty good, but MCT giving a low blow.
I would love to try that. Let's see. Send us a sample.
I gotta try his homemade whiskey. It must be really, really spectacular, and I'm not doubting you. I'm intrigued now. But yeah, Japanese whiskeys are really nice. I mean, they're all whiskeys. All different regions make different great quality whiskeys. There's great whiskeys out of India.
So $150 range. Which single malt is the best? Tough question. $150.
Signet, a little bit more than that 150, but Signet is pretty good.
180, yeah.
Glenmorangie Signet, yeah.
I definitely love Glendronach 18.
Yeah.
if they can
If
find
you're
it.
looking for a blended whiskey, one of my favorites in that price range is Chivas Altus. That's a pretty spectacular one. It's I don't know if you guys know about it. I might have a bottle here at the office. Let me see. You continue to chat, see what's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on. I'll go
Chivas
try to find a
Altus,
bottle.
Chivas Altus was a good one. I like it a lot. But like in my honest opinion, there are a lot of single malts which are worth the price, and I'm trying to see what I have with me right now. A good Balvenie can be a good option. Like a Balvenie P-Tweak was one of the best whiskeys I tried this year. My girlfriend's brother got me one of those, nice, not complex. My all-time favorite is still Macallan 12-year-old sherry. That's good. Like Macallan 12-year-old is a great whiskey and was a better whiskey.
So that is the Chivas Altus. I would imagine it's in retail for anywhere from $150 to $200, depending on the area. But this is a spectacular one. Basically, it's a tribute to their 5 master distillers. And what they did is they basically hand-selected barrels from each master distiller, and basically blended those 5 different malts into this bottle here,
Yeah.
and that's the Chivas Altus.
Kudos to Chivas guys back in Turkey. I was at the launch event 2.5 years ago. That was a fabulous event, and the whiskey is really good. A little bit expensive for a blended, for its category, because you know there are beautiful whiskeys like Monkey Shoulder, Johnny Walker Green Label. So in that category, Altus is a little bit expensive, but it's really, really nice whiskey.
Yeah. It's a really great package too. Like I guess they kind of went after that Johnny Walker Blue crowd, you know, with the gifting and the box and the heavy cork and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, Corey, talk a little bit about yourself, man, for the people who might be watching that might not.
Yeah,
know
I just
you.
forgot about it. So
Yeah, let's how did you get your start? How'd you get a passion of whiskey and what?
I was a boring engineering student, master's student back in Turkey, and then I had the chance to spend some time, like a year in Denmark, and there they didn't actually accept my credits for my studies, and I became a bartender, like a volunteer bartender.
Ah,
Yeah, and so what happened was I fell in love with craft beer and single malt whiskey, and I got back to Turkey, searched more about it, did my research, got some more education. I traveled Europe to see what's happening. I drank a lot, like that's the case. I tasted a lot, but I started to write on my blog, which was another name in Turkish. It was keyifadamı.net, but now it's whiskymonster.com. And yes, Travis, I play the saxophone. That's how it all began.
that's not code. That's not code for you swing both ways, right?
So it happened like I wrote more and people were interested more. So thanks to the rise of social media and the whiskey, I became famous in Turkey with a few other guys, and we started to do like events. Like we started organizing events. I started doing my tastings and everything. I started working with brands like big guys like Brown Forman, like William Grant in Turkey.
That's cool. You were way ahead of your time.
Yeah. And I came to the States with a green card, starting from scratch, which is something I love. Like I love challenges. And I came to the States. I started as a spirits bar in San Francisco, and as of last month, I took over the responsibility of being the brand ambassador for an Indian single malt whiskey.
Hey, I know some Indians.
So
Congratulations. Yeah, when I was there and saw you a couple months ago, and you and I were talking about some things. And by the way, that's good
guy.
stuff.
Yeah.
I have the Kenya.
Yeah.
I have the Kenya bottle. That was delicious. I had it once, and it was so spectacular that I purchased it right away. And it won Jim Murray's Whiskey Bible's Asian Whiskey of the Year, right?
Yeah, this received like 96 points from Jim Murray, and like it's this limited edition. So in the States, especially in the West Coast, we don't have it right now. But in the East Coast, there are still some bottles. Paul John, Kenya. Yeah. The Kenya bottling is really interesting. It's showing the zodiac sign in the culture. So it's it's the Indian counterpart of Virgo, the zodiac sign. It's matured for 7 years in the first fill white American oak, and I can definitely tell that it's the smoothest Indian whiskey that I've ever tasted, and it's gonna be in my top 10. Like not just because it's my brand. it's one of the best whiskeys. And same with Nika from the barrel.
Well, you were attracted to the brand because you actually enjoyed the brand, and that's how you started working for them. Obviously, you were, when you're in the whiskey business, you can't just drink and work for a brand unless you really truly believe in it.
Definitely.
Right? This is not our job. This is our passion, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, definitely yours. What made you come out to San Francisco? Why did you pick San Francisco?
Being honest.
Hmm?
So, like, there are two reasons. One of the reasons was San Francisco was a good whiskey region. So there are New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and San Francisco that you can get into whiskey business. And to be honest, I had a couch to sleep on for a few months for free.
I got you. Yeah, friend. Actually, we talked about this afterwards.
And San Francisco is not the easiest place to live when it comes to rent and living. So that was easy, and I succeeded, I guess. I don't know why.
You know, it'll be a good photo op with the Paul John whiskeys. There's behind the building that you and I met at by the market. There's a Mahatma Gandhi statue.
Oh yeah,
that'd be kind of cool to try to take pictures over there.
I just announced the job today. Actually, after our call, I will just go online to Instagram and I will post something about it. But yeah, like I'm definitely working with a brand now, but I'm gonna do it in a separate account. It's gonna be my journey there. WhiskyMonster will still continue to write the opinions. Like I never did biased thing. It's all unbiased. I do write my own opinion on my website and here, and it's quite a fun. And I don't want to torture WhiskyMonster with a lot of my brand.
I hear you. Going back to Nika, and then to help transition into the next topic, I had in mind. I want to talk to you about. Nika apparently is a marriage cask. So they take two different types of whiskey, grain malt whiskey, and they blend it together, calling it a marriage. And that's funny because that's the Compass Box Great King Street, the one that I have is Tonight's Poison one. That's the same concept. It's basically taking two different types, maturing it, and then they marry it together. So I found that kind of interesting. And basically the topic leading into is Compass Box. You were out there in London and you got to meet John Glazer. You hung out with him. You got some previews of stuff that you were sworn to secrecy of not talking about. And you had that. You'd had it probably before anybody on the Instagram community, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I just got to have it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, totally talk about this one. When I went to London for the whiskey show, luckily I had the chance to visit John Glazer at his office, and he was the perfect guy to host us with his colleagues. And there's another wonderful lady called Elif, who is my friend in the Compass Box, and they hosted us for 4 hours, showed us everything from the starting day, how Compass Box was formed, and to their new whiskey, which is the Juveniles.
Yeah.
So when I was there, it didn't have this interesting bell, and it didn't have the neck piece. And so he asked me not to post any photos until it was released. So if you see my photo, I don't have the neck piece or the bell. But yeah, you were totally right about how you think about marrying the whiskeys and marrying them together. So, 30 years ago, nobody was talking about single malt whiskeys as much. It's a new trend.
Yeah.
And actually, it was the first movement. Then after the foundation of blended whiskeys became the thing because it was easier to drink, cheaper to approach.
Yeah.
And it was for most of the people outside. It's not like robust single malt, but they're easy to drink. That's why everybody drank. Everybody drank like Johnny Walker until today in the Scotch were like single malts came something, and that's something. So blended whiskeys are for most of the people outside, and with Compass Box and like any other blending companies, I can totally say that it's really hard because you have to get blended, we have to get single malts and grain whiskeys or just single malts and blend them together. You have to find the perfect measure, perfect combination of those, and that's like a master's work. That's harder than making anything else.
Correct.
But we have the same thing in the wine industry too. So especially in France.
Absolutely, the percentage of different grape varietals that go into a red blend. Otherwise,
most of the wines we're loving from France are blends. Like
Bordeaux
is a style, blend of stuff. Like Burgundy is a style, blend of some other grapes. So, to my knowledge, as he told me, John Glazer had the same thing. He's a big wine lover.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's
He
how
wanted to be a
he
winemaker actually,
that's
initially.
how he came out with this. I'm glad that he's in the whiskey business.
Oh yeah, he changed the
Uh,
whiskey industry forever.
yeah. So that's in 20 years he just changed all the industry. He brought out some wonderful bottles, and luckily I'm collecting his whiskeys as much as I can do.
Yeah.
Not like you. But yeah, I can definitely tell that John Glazer changed the industry for good. And if you have a chance to talk with him like 20 minutes, any of the people out there, do that. Ask him questions, he'll be loving to answer you.
Yeah.
I've been following you carefully, but I'm trying to make whiskey according to your self-comments. I think since there's no opportunity to taste, therefore, tour comments or your comments are very important. Thank you for that. The art on the bottles are fantastic as well. I think you can answer this better, Jess, because you met the guys, strangers and strangers.
Yeah. What's the question?
Travis says that the art on the bottles are fantastic as well.
Oh yeah. So these guys, Compass Box, they just celebrated the 10-year anniversary with Stranger and Stranger. They probably met each other like 11 years ago. I just met up with them 2 weeks back. And if you go to my YouTube channel under the name Tonight's Poison, I actually recorded a seminar for 45 minutes with John Glazer talking in New York City at the Whiskey Fest that just passed. And Stranger, the owners, the founders, the CEO were there. And they talked about their history, the 10-year history together. And I don't remember the exact number, but I want to say 20 or so labels of Compass Box that everybody's so fond of were all designed by Stranger and Stranger. And to celebrate their 10-year anniversary together, next year, March, they're coming out with the Stranger and Stranger Spirit. It's not called whiskey. The reason for that is they actually, for 1% of the whiskey inside the bottle was only aged in new oak barrels for 1 year and just pulled just to create the heaviness and the personality. And they just blended that into it. So now, since Scotch whiskey, I believe it needs to be 3 years, I forget. 3 years, I think, has to be age minimum. So it's not called Scotch whiskey anymore. So it's called Spirit, which is kind of unique to Compass Box. I don't think there's any other Compass Box like that. So I found that very interesting, and I got to try it 2 weeks back, and it is a beautiful dram, and the bottle and the packaging design-wise is really good. But Stranger and Stranger has been designing labels for Compass Box for a little over 10 years, but a lot of other companies. For example, I'm going to show you something which just came out, which you might have not seen in the market yet. And I'm 99% sure they designed this label because they do design the other higher-end labels from the same company. So Clyde May's Bourbon has been out there for a little bit, but this is something brand new just coming out. This is, let me actually open this guy up. This is the Clyde May's Cask Strength 10-year straight bourbon. All right. That label is wood.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
It's wood. And that's all the high-end stuff from Clyde May's is always designed by Stranger and Stranger. So even though I haven't looked it up, I guarantee I would probably put money on it that this is also designed by Stranger and Stranger because their other cask strengths have been designed by them. So Stranger and Stranger has been doing, and I don't want to talk too much more about them in the sense that I don't want the session to become about them, but just to educate, because I just recently got educated on it, has been designing wine labels for way before they were doing Compass Box stuff. And if you go on their website, Stranger and Stranger, you'll see a lot of well-known brands that you'll be surprised to hear that they designed it, and you'll realize it because the designs are really unique and artistic. Yeah. So I absolutely love those guys, and had a good session. Again, Tonight's Poison YouTube channel has a 45-minute seminar talking about the history and tasting through 4 different rare Compass Boxes with Stranger and Stranger.
Just to close with the Compass Box, and
yeah.
If you're looking for a holiday gift, they have this amazing guy.
Yeah, great idea.
And it's like 3 5 centiliter samples of Spice Tree, the WhiskyMonster, and the New Story of the Spaniard, which is one of the amazing whiskeys.
3 different personalities. Those are great grams to try side by side, right? On a night, that's perfect.
Well, we can talk about holiday gifts and.
Yeah, let's do it.
I can also say that like this is a great glass from Whiskey Exchange for especially our friends in Europe.
Nice little tulip, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 1920s professional blender's glass. It's an amazing way to give you the nose, and let's say I have a Port Charlotte 10 here.
Okay.
The first age statement.
I'm having the Glendalu 13, finished off in a Mizunara cast. This was number 18 on the top whiskey advocate whiskeys of the world.
This was number 7 or 4, I don't remember.
Yes, that was, I have it here. That was number 4.
Yeah. Chundari, let's talk after the, let's message after the talk. So like this gives you a really good constructed smell. The nose, but it's really not easy to drink. I'm not gonna lie. See that?
Yeah, but it's good for nosing.
But it's
A lot
really
of the
good for
whiskey
nosing.
makers basically are not tasting; they're nosing, and that's
Yeah.
how they pick their whiskey. So that's designed for that, which makes perfect
And
sense.
that's why I gifted a glass to John Glazer himself when I was there.
Very cool.
So this is very great. Travis dated ours, Whistle Pig and Pendleton in 1910. That's nice.
So, gifting wise, what else do you? What are your gifting ideas for whiskey or
So
whiskey
this
lovers for the holidays?
So, I really like stem glasses, to be honest. And this is from Ember Glass, Ember Factory in
Yeah,
Poland.
I have a couple of them. They're
Yeah,
gorgeous.
they send it to, like, they ship worldwide, and they're fast and they're safe. It's
Yeah.
great, and the price is really nice, to be honest. So it's like a
Yeah.
lid glass. So if you're tasting any spritz, it has a smaller volume than any Glencairn, the other glasses. So if you can just put an ounce or less than that, it will be enough for you to taste it. And actually, like, everybody's asking me when I talk about my blog and everything, like, what do you advise for us to learn whiskey and everything? I would say drink whiskey, taste whiskey, and read about the history. So
Yeah.
that's the most important thing. So if you like Scotch whiskey, this is a great book, guys. Scots on Scotch.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing thing. And for San Francisco, guys, I have something special for you. This is By the Smoke and the Smell. So it's not just about whiskey, but it's all about, like, Armagnac, Cognac. It's about wine. It's about Thad Vogler's journey to choose the best spirits for his accounts. And
Yeah.
he started his life as the spirits buyer for Slanted Door, which is in the Ferry Building. And now he's just managing a good amount of places. And he's
Yeah.
one of the guys which I follow deeply.
I love the Slanted Door. That's one of my favorite places
Slanted
to
Door is
go.
amazing.
Yeah.
And the last thing I found lately,
How much you get reservations?
I will do that for you. This book, the Flavor Thesaurus, is a great book to get you the knowledge of this nosing, especially how to get the pairings, how to get the recipes and ideas for cooking, but also it gives you the idea about how we nose our whiskey, our wine, or whatever it is that you're tasting.
That's fantastic, man. I had no idea that those are great recommendations. Fantastic for somebody who's getting into whiskey and needs to learn more. You know, why not go out? I'm assuming Amazon probably has those.
So I'm just gonna answer 2 questions. Jack Daniel's Sinatra, what's our review? I don't know if you tasted it yet.
Yeah, I've had it. I tried it maybe 2-3 years back, and I have a bottle at home, and I enjoy it. If you're a Jack Daniel's person, you would definitely enjoy it. It's
It's a great whiskey.
supposedly it's the original recipe because the recipe has changed over the years. It's the original recipe, premiumized in some ways. Obviously, the packaging is phenomenal. Of what Jack Daniel's, Frank Sinatra used to drink.
Yeah.
So it's basically that recipe, and you actually get, I'm not sure if they still do it, you get inaugurated into a Frank Sinatra club, like a private club. Once
know
you
that.
purchase the bottle, there's a slip in there, you open the jacket, and you register, and you're part of this private club that you get invites, and it's like an online club. It's not an actual perk club, but you get some perks and stuff like that and some insights.
It's like Friends of Lafroy, huh?
Exactly, but for Frank Sinatra lovers.
Yeah. So what do you think of Talisker? I love it. Talisker 10-year-old, one of the greatest whiskeys on the earth, and Talisker 18-year-old, one of the other greatest whiskeys on the earth. In my opinion, like, I'm not gonna lie about it, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
And one question to you. So we are in holiday seasons, but I'm turning 33 next week. What are you buying me?
I might have a Stranger and Stranger bottle. Oh,
Nice to hear that.
No,
You know,
I wish I had that. I would definitely gift it to you.
anyway, start thinking I'm coming to New York next month. So.
That's right. So you know what? You guys send me some dates. We got to lock down something, and we'll go to a couple of really cool bars.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I hope you like speakeasies. I know when I was out in San Fran, I met up with Corey, and he actually showed me a great time. We took the subway and everything, and we went around to a couple places, and he was a great host. And the rave party that we went to, that was very interesting. And I actually love that type of stuff because I actually love and grew up on house and trance music. I still enjoy that. I was
So,
DJ for a while.
just to give you information, that party was actually San Francisco version of Burning Man. So they took all
Yes.
the statues from Burning Man and brought it to San Francisco on a cold night.
Yeah.
And we danced all night. That was amazing. That was
And it was cool. The crowd was very chilled out, and I had a great time. It was so random. Like something like that, if I knew about it before, I would have planned it and been there. But I just didn't pick it up, and I'm glad that you caught that as far as inviting me. It was fun.
Thanks to wifey.
Yeah. Your wife was definitely a great host. Absolutely. Say hi to her
Yeah.
too.
She created that. So like, what are you doing for New Year's or Christmas?
Christmas, just hang out, you know, at home, spend time with the family. But for New Year's, it's still up in the air as far as what's going to happen. I'm not sure yet.
Which
Usually
bottle
decide
are-
last minute.
Which bottle are you opening?
Oh, Usually, I'm not a champagne guy, but obviously there's a toast. So usually, you know, that's usually what we think about as far as a nice Dom Perignon or something like a vintage Clicquot or something like that. But whiskey-wise, I'll probably just be sipping on some whiskey the entire night. I'm not sure exactly which one yet. As it gets closer, as you get older, you procrastinate more, right? So 33 next week, you said?
Yeah,
What's the date?
18th.
18th. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So you'll see as you get older.
Yeah. Just we didn't talk it that because we're in the States and we talk about Scotch mostly and Japanese. What do you think of the Americans? Which were your favorites this year?
I'm a huge fan of Michter's. Love Michter's. I just recently took it upon myself to go out and visit some distilleries. Went to Angel's Envy, went to Maker's Mark, went to George Dickel. But definitely, I would say Michter's is definitely one of my favorites, top favorites. I do like Clyde Mays a lot. Maker's is good too. I mean, the thing is, like being in the industry and being around friends who drink a lot of whiskeys, it's really tough to pinpoint. I think favorites kind of change on a weekly or monthly basis.
No, like this year's favorite.
Man, the Michter's 10 bourbon, the new batch that I got, that's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah. Cheers, Travis. We love you.
Travis's stuff for every day as far as drinking, you know, something that you can get easily off the shelf. That is spectacular too.
So,
Limousine Rye is phenomenal.
I think this is my
Oh,
yearly
I haven't
favorite.
had that one.
Really? You should. Like that's juicy. That's really good.
Yeah.
Well, Travis. And to be honest, like my favorite American of the year, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Huh. 100% rye whiskey. Oh, wow. Okay.
It's from Washington, at least 5 years old. Grain to glass operation. Everything is grown in Washington, and they make the whiskey. They put it in the barrels. They send it back to the farmer. We got the grain, and they age it there. So due to high concentration of the humidity and the high temperature difference, it gets to a really good point after like 5 years. So this whiskey was one of the best whiskeys of the year for me. And like this is a really good sipper bourbon for every time. It's like Henry McKenna. It was last year winner of some competition. I forgot it now. 10-year-old bottled in bond, so it's like at least 50%.
Yeah.
And they're like 100 proof. And you know, normally bottled in bond it has to be at least 4 years old, but this is 10 years old. Really juicy, really nice, really rich, and just around $28.
That's a great bang for the buck for something which is it says underrated, but
It was underrated.
Is it easy to find on the show?
After it was chosen the best whiskey last year, it wasn't easy to find it, but now it's getting easier. Have you considered making at home? Yes, I made it at home. It was nice. It was really hard. It was nice. The product was okay, but you know, whiskey making is easy but not easy. So if you're gonna make a good product, you have to do a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like, and I won't advise you to make any whiskeys at home anyway, because it's prohibited by law in most of the countries. I'm not stating which country I made my whiskey at.
So one of my
That's
favorite guys for gifting, a couple of stuff. I actually posted a little bit about it today randomly. A lot of people don't like their stuff neat and don't want water in it. I actually sometimes, depending on my mood, will put a drop or two. I'll sometimes even put some ice in it. They say if you're really a whiskey geek and you really want to know the complexity of the whiskey, you probably want to put a little bit of warm or hot water, and that really opens up the pores. Whiskey is like similar to your skin pores. When the heat is there, your pores open up. You feel the whiskey more. So you constrict it by putting anything ice or cold in it. It's actually bad for you, but I guess my palate's gotten used to it growing up, so I flip-flop. But sometimes I feel like having something chilled but without the water in it, so I actually use Lord Rocks. So Lord Rocks, I actually posted about them on my stories. If you guys have not experienced them, they're relatively inexpensive, around $20 starting. They have better kits with glasses and stuff like that. That's a pretty cool gift, and they're available on Amazon with Prime, so you can still get in time for shipping as a gift. So that's a pretty cool one. I also use this guy a lot for gifting in my holiday season. I actually gift some of these. Hoarte, Hooarte, is a person that I've been dealing with for about a year now, and he recycles bottles and creates candles and lanterns and LED lamps out of them. Phenomenal.
I loved your 18-year-old Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I use that a lot of time as gifts during the holidays, and this is one in my office that I have also of the Johnny Walker Ghost that he created a lamp out of. So that's in my office always, which is kind of cool. And yeah, those things are kind of cool, for a whiskey geek to give a gift who relates to that. He does a lot of different things, whiskey or not. He does vodka. You could do a Grey Goose one, for example, and things like that. So that's really fun. That's my little holiday picks to recommend. What about gift sets? We go to liquor store, we see a lot of gift sets sometimes, with glasses and stuff like that. But they come with like really cheap glasses usually, right? It's very rare to get good quality stuff.
I think the quality just went down in the last year. So I remember myself when I was studying engineering in the college to join the glass design competition for Bombay Safari or some other companies. So there were like better glasses out there. But last day, despite the reason I don't like the whiskey that much, Toki had a really nice gift package with a highball glass, engraved highball glass. That was a good one actually. And they were selling it around $36 in Oakland. But yeah, like the whiskey, if it's not a highball, does not attract me that much. And I don't like, let me see, I don't remember any gift sets lately. Like Maker's Mark has one with a small tasting bottle and a glass as far as I remember. But I didn't see something regular.
One interesting gift if you have a budget of around $200. $160 to $200 depending on your state. Johnny Walker Blue. Pretty much almost anywhere, if you could buy a Johnny Walker Blue, except for Costco's, probably if you go to a local decent-sized store, you can request them, and they pretty much have in almost every state. Probably not every state, but almost every state. You can request them, and as long as you have a week to turnaround time, or a few days turnaround time, they will get it engraved for you for free. A Johnny Walker Blue, because Diageo itself, the parent company, has that program at their local distributor warehouses, or local supplier warehouses where they'll have engraving machines. So they'll pretty much engrave a Johnny Walker Blue if you want to gift to somebody for free.
Also,
which is kind of cool.
I don't know if it still continues. Spayburn had a competition to create a decanter for you.
That's cool.
Yeah, like I have one, but I don't know where I put it right on the top. It will be pretty hard to get. So decanters, I like it as a really good holiday gift, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like I was just mentioning that because we have these glasses in the market, so it's not easy to find good glasses anymore in the packages, I guess.
Yeah. But Corey, you and I could talk forever. And this was supposed to be very informal and just chilling. We have been. We just keep rolling with it. So let's to wrap it up. Any last few words? Any closing statements? You want to say anything more about yourself?
Of course. Like for myself, I'll be posting on WhiskyMonster forever, and I will post my Paul John thing on Korai_Paul John account from now on. I will just announce it on my profile, so it's not
Oh, great.
much of a
We'll
big deal.
follow. Everybody's going to follow.
Yeah, and just to mention that, don't drink a lot. Drink good, drink nice, drink good friends. That's the most important thing ever. Like, drink good whiskeys with friends. It will just be magical. That's how I like to drink my stuff. And I'm wishing you all, guys, like all of the people out there, and you, Jazz, have a wonderful holiday time with your family and a great New Year. And I will see you next month.
I like that. Here's to quality rather than quantity. Cheers, man. Happy holidays. Thank you so much for doing this. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much, Jazz.
And happy birthday in advance.
Just a question. Would you like to try a Turkish whiskey, though? I have to answer that. Sorry. There was a Turkish whiskey before 2002, and it was called the Ankara whiskey, which was the capital's name. But unfortunately, they had to cease the production because of, like, you know, profitability and the government things.
Sure.
There's not gonna be a Turkish whiskey soon because nobody has that money to invest in that. Like, it's not smart to do that. Everybody, like, there are people having the money, but it's not smart to do that. But there are really good Turkish people who are actually doing whiskey business. Like, yeah, I'm one of them, but we have a beautiful lady, Turkey Elif, in UK, who is working for Campus Box, and the brand manager for Glendronach, Glenglassaugh, Benria in UK, in London, is another Elif, beautiful lady. So there are people, Turkish people, doing the business in the whiskey industry. Just watch them. They're doing great business.
And there's also beautiful Turkish people doing and selling Indian whiskeys.
Thank you.
Cheers, man. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you coming on. Let's keep in touch. If let's touch base on DMs as far as your dates in New York, and we'll hang out.
Yeah, of course. I will just send. I know the dates. I will just send you as soon as possible.
Okay.
I need some advices on hotels and bars. That's what I need.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit me up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take
Cheers.
care, mate. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for logging in. Tonight's Poison, Whiskey Monster. Please follow Whiskey Monster if you don't already. Thanks a lot. Happy holidays. Cheers.
Bye.